By this point in time, you would think that we'd have nailed down this idea of what exactly consists of life. But I'm here to argue on my little piece that I'm calling life, subject, have a subject of life on the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. By the way, I'm your host. I'm Kurt, and today is Monday, the 6th of September of 2021. Welcome to everyone who's here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. I'm going to say that we really don't have quite as solid an understanding or a direction with regard to what life is and what it's not. And I want to say some other things about that while I'm about it, which I'm going to go ahead and do in my notes. So let me go ahead and get to those considerations at this point. Is there really only one definition for life? Among the things we count alive, is there really just the one level, or can and should we argue for more than one? Excuse me. Is the kind of life displayed in single-celled entities the same as even something more complex like a worm? How do you compare a worm to a dolphin or an ape? Finally, is it really possible to put anything on a level with mankind? You can argue for the supposed intelligence of other life forms. That said, mankind has done some amazing and also some scary stuff that I don't think any other type of critter has aspired to, much less accomplished. It may be good, it may be bad, but it's pretty much unquestionable that nothing else has reached a similar level. One important distinction can be found in the recording of history in any more or less than a passed down lore sort of way, and that in the loosest of ways, if you consider anything but mankind. I'm not arguing the unimportance of other life here either. In fact, I would say if we are, as I suspect is the case, at the top of the food chain, and I've got that in quotes, where life forms are concerned, at least the ones found on this earth, we probably have a greater responsibility to the, quote, lesser forms, end of quote. All that said, I think it's totally reasonable to make certain distinctions where life is concerned. That's true whether or not anyone has demonstrated an ability to create life as opposed to trying to copy it. And here's the thing. Here's sort of where I want to start. We've cloned sheep, supposedly. I don't know that I would consider it cloning. Maybe it's a reasonable thing. I kind of doubt it is. I don't think that's really the case. I don't think we ever actually created life. I'm not sure that anything but our supreme arrogance has caused us to believe anything else. Again, I really sort of question this idea that a lot of people have that life is some one mono-leveled thing, right? If you look at amoeba, if you look at germs, if you look at single-celled organisms, what you find is that there are these things out there that can be considered alive, and rightly so in certain senses. You can make an argument for them being within the definition of life. Yet those things lack things that, quote, higher-order beings like dolphins or apes seem to have. And that is the ability to reason in some senses, the ability to generate tools in a real and meaningful way, what appear to be emotions, and various things of that sort. Now let's take a step up the chain a little bit, and let's talk about, like I say, the one who I assume to be more or less at the top of that structure. That would be mankind. I'm talking to you on a camera that was generated, that was blown out of thin air basically by man. It emulates an eyeball, it emulates a nervous system of its own sort of way, it connects to a computer, and it does all kinds of amazing things. The microphone is equally, well, maybe not quite as amazing, but pretty darn amazing when you consider the technologies that exist now for microphones. The light that I'm using, that you can periodically see in my glasses when I do my little videos so that I have good ambient lighting. That light is, LEDs. It's literally something that it took years and years to generate and even more years to perfect. Okay, we've done some amazing things. I sit in a house. How many critters actually build anything? And when they do build anything with something like the complexity that you can argue mankind has for his structures in which he lives, and even the simplest of places, even in shanty towns. Okay, if you can't make an argument that there are qualitative differences in living things, I'm confused as to how that's the case. Dolphins seem to be very intelligent. They seem to balance nicely with their little world, but they don't have to worry about taking care of themselves or any of that past eating and swimming around for the most part, getting the various nutrition and the various rest that they need. That's pretty much what they do. Okay, you could argue that that's really intelligent, I suppose, but my argument is no dolphin ever created an airplane. No dolphin ever created a suit so that they could explore dry land. Okay? No dolphin ever did that. Okay? You can make arguments to the contrary all you want. Yeah, okay, crows make tools. Great. But they make tools out of the things that are available, and they've never forged anything out of iron. Never. Okay? They've never even chipped chert to make a stone axe or arrowhead. It's almost impossible to not make the argument that there's a qualitative difference between various levels of life on the planet. And for that alone, it's very hard to make an argument that all life is equal. It's very hard to do. If worms are equal to men, well, that's an interesting idea. I'm not saying, look, I want to make this clear. As I said before, as far as I'm concerned, as I said in my notes, right? As far as I'm concerned, we, if we are higher order beings, and I believe that's a fair thing, must count ourselves responsible for our environment, and that includes the life that we find in it. I have some differences that I would like to make with those who are trying to talk about things like greenhouse gases and so forth. Nonetheless, I believe that we as human beings have responsibilities above and beyond any other kind of critter on the planet when it comes to how we take care of our environment. We have again, I'm a conservative, and part of being conservative to me is not wasting resources that you have available to you. I don't care what kind of resources they are. I don't care if they're natural resources or ones that are artificially generated or whatever. I hate wastefulness, and I think that mankind right now does far too much of that, and we need to find ways to fix that. But here's what I'm trying to get at. It's not reasonable to assume, A, that all levels of life are the same, and that B, you could ever jump from one level of life to another, right? That there's this magical evolutionary set of changes that makes it possible to go from the life of, say, an amoeba, or to even the life of a worm, much less to the life of a sentient being, and like I say, a storytelling being and a lore-telling being and a history-writing being. Koreans claim to have 5,000 years of written history or so, I've been told. I may be wrong, but the point is I believe that there's some level of accuracy and truth to that. I'm sorry, I'd like for you to find me any other critter on the planet that can talk about having 1,000 years of written history, much less 5. Even if it's inaccurate, even if you argue that, say, for example, the Bible is inaccurate as a history, I still defy you to find any other critter on this ball of dirt that can do anything like talking from a level where mankind can talk. We literally have images of people who have done amazing things. Thomas Alva Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, Nikola Tesla, right? So many people, and from not a short distance back. From 100 years or more back. We have pictures of political and philosophical people, Hayek, Marx, Engels, various people. We have pictures, we have things of that sort. I defy you to find me any other critter on the planet that has something like that. I can't imagine how you could say, A, all life is the same, and I really question your ability, B, to say that life all came from the same place. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time with that. Maybe you're not. Maybe you think that you can explain that to me. I'll just tell you that you might be able to give me some suppositions, but I doubt you can give me any hard data in that direction. All right, I need to go ahead and wrap things up. This is the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I'm your host. I'm Kurt. Today is Monday, the 6th of September. I believe it's Labor Day today. Happy Labor Day. Tomorrow will be Tuesday, the 7th of September, the work day, the first work day of this week for a lot of folks, myself included. Hope you're having a good day today and hope that everything is going well for you. I hope that your week to come is a good one. Thank you for everyone who's been here on Rumble, on the podcast, and on YouTube. Subject for today has been life, and tomorrow we're going to talk about something interesting. We're going to discuss the idea that's summed up in the question, what's the rush? Again, I hope you're having a good day. I hope everything is going well for you, and I hope that I will see you again on tomorrow's edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. The speaker on this edition of the Daily Summation is Kurt Schubert. This video is recorded on Monday, the 6th of September of 2021. The Daily Summation is created for Kurt's Religion and Politics. Thanks for watching this edition of the Daily Summation from Kurt's Religion and Politics. I hope you found it entertaining or instructional, or maybe both. If you want to see more from me, you can go to blogs.kpschubert.com. That's blogs.kpschubert.com. I am on Twitter, Parler, and Minds.com. My handle on each of those is @kpschubert. That's @kpschubert. I have a Rumble and a YouTube channel. They are the Kurt's Religion and Politics channels on Rumble and YouTube. I have a Facebook page. The Facebook page is Kurt's Religion and Politics as well. I am on Patreon. If you want to support me, that's one of the better places you can do that. And you will find me at Kurt's Religion and Politics on Patreon. I have a podcast. The podcast is podcasts with an S, .kpschubert.com. That's podcasts.kpschubert.com. I think you should be able to find me with relative ease on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify as well. The best way I find to do that is to look for Kurt's Religion and Politics. You can try to use the Daily Summation. I find that it doesn't work as well as a general rule, but you can always try that. I'm glad to have you aboard today, and hopefully we will see you again tomorrow.